All right, so Monday we talk about alternate interior, alternate exterior. Yesterday, we talked about corresponding and vertical. Today, we're gonna be looking at questions 39 through 44, and we're gonna learn two new rules. We're dealing with paralines with a transversal. The two new names we're going to learn, one of them we called same side interior. This is the name that I use, same side interior. And the other name we're going to learn is adjacent. All right, for same side interior, we're dealing with two parallel lines in the transversal. Same side interior, the name kind of says it, same side. So the angles are going to be on the same side of the transversal. Interior means between the parallel lines. Remember, my parallel lines I identify with arrows. So same side interior, I'm dealing with angles like this. They're both on the same side of the transversal and they're both interior. They're inside the parallel lines. Now, if we take a look, remember my angle at the bottom, it looks like an obtuse angle. It looks more than 90. Don't know exactly how much, but it looks more than 90. Look at my angle on the top. This looks acute, right? Less than 90. So I'm going to say these two angles are not equal. These two angles are not equal. Now, for same side interior, my angles, these two angles are going to be, let me see, complementary. Supplementary. We call this supplementary. Right, I used the word with you guys before, supplementary. That means they add up. I'm going to add the two angles and equals 180. All right, now let's take a look at adjacent, the other rule that we're going to be looking at. Two parallel lines in a transversal. Now, the interesting part for adjacent, I'm only going to use one parallel line. I'm going to be looking at, I can be looking at, let's see, this angle with this angle. They're going to be in one corner and they're going to be next to each other. So they don't quite form an X, they are next to each other. The interesting part is that that is the angle of a line. And an angle of a line is also supplementary. So I'm going to add the angles and it's equal to 180. Now, one thing, coming back to same side interior. Some other people, because you guys are different schools, you guys can, some teachers like to call it same side interior. Some other teachers like to call it consecutive interior. I don't know who your future math teacher is, so I'm going to come up with all the possible names. Some people call the same side, that's how I call it, same side interior, but some other teachers call it consecutive interior. And even some other teachers also call this co-interior. So we write co-interior. Notice one thing, co-interior has a dash in between. Same side interior, I also use a dash in between the two words, same side. So same side interior, that's how I call it. But some teachers call it consecutive interior and some others call it co-interior. It is a personal choice. The angles are still supplementary though. So let's take a look at question number 39. This is an example of same side interior. And I said same side interior, the angles are supplementary. So let me add everything. 70 plus 13x plus 6. I'm adding everything and it's going to equal to 180. Remember, that's supplementary. All right, so let me combine like terms on the left side. When it comes to x's, I just have 13x. When it comes to numbers, I have 76. Right, 70 plus 6 gave me 76. This is all equal to 180. So I'm just going to combine my like terms to begin with. I want the x term by itself. So the plus 76, let me move it over as a minus 76. So I have that 13x is equal to 104. 180 minus 76. To get the x by itself, let me divide both sides by 13, and I get x is equal to 8. The instructions are solve for x. My answer is 8. I want you guys to just type in the numerical answer, so just 8. All right, let's take a look at question number 40. This is an example of same side interior. So I'm just going to add everything. 20x minus 5 plus 9x plus 11. And this is equal to 180. Separate them to the equal sign. When it comes to letters, I have 29x. Combining like terms. When it comes to terms that don't have a letter, negative 5 plus 11, that's going to give me plus 6. And all this is equal to 180. To have the x by itself, the plus 6, let me move it over as a minus 6. So I have 29x is equal to 174, right? 180 minus 6. Let me divide both sides by 29. And then I get x is equal to 6. Let's take a look at question number 41. Now, these angles are adjacent, right, next to each other. But I said adjacent, they're still supplementary. So I'm just going to add everything. 16x plus 21x minus 5. And all this is equal to 180. When it comes to letters, 16 plus 21 is 37. So I have 37x minus 5 equals to 180. To have the x by itself, the minus 5, let me move it over as a plus 5. So I have 37x equals 185. Divide both sides by 37. X equals 5. I'm dividing by 27, so x equals 5. Cool. Let's take a look at question number 42. These are also adjacent, so I'm just going to add everything. 61x minus 2 plus 30x equals 180. When it comes to letters, I have 91x minus 2 is equal to 180. All right, the minus 2, let me move it over as a plus 2. Don't forget to switch the sign. So I have 91x is equal to 182. Once I divide both sides by 91, I find out that x is equal to 2. Now, 43 and 44, the bottom of your page, in my case is up here. I'm going to have extra lines. In reality, I want you to pay attention to these two parallel lines and this transversal. Now, these two angles are same side interior. So that means they're supplementary. I'm just going to add everything. 10x plus 10 plus 19x minus 4, and all this is equal to 180. When it comes to x's, let me combine like terms. 10 plus 19, that's 29x. And then I have a 10 minus 4, so I'm going to call that plus 6 is equal to 180. My plus 6, let me move it over as a minus 6. So I have that 29x is equal to 174. Let me divide each by 29. And I get x is equal to 6. Cool, not too bad. Let's take a look at question number 44. In reality, I'm only using this parallel line and this transversal. When I look at those two angles, those are adjacent. So I'm just going to add everything. X plus 136 plus x plus 56. And all this is equal to 180. When it comes to x's, I got 2x. Then I see 136 plus 56. That's 192. And all this is equal to 180. So I have 2x plus 192 equals 180. I just combined like terms. That's all I did. My plus 192, let me move it over as a minus 192. So I get 2x is equal to negative 12. Divide both sides by 2. X equals negative 6. Let me zoom out. That way you guys can see what we did.